So we continue. So like previously, we finished this animation. We experiment with some like timing, a graph editor, how to make it more dynamics, how to edit the path, right? The path like motion, right? Also apply some of our like knowledge we learned from the Illustrator as well. Okay. Next step is a little bit more advanced, right? We want to create a mask, right? Create a mask. So like some of you, if you pay attention, right, earlier, right, create a mask, right? Simple. Select this area. We kind of create a area I want it to be show up, and then you find out that the mask is following the movement, which is not the one I want. So it means that it doesn't work, right? It's very helpful, right, when you have select the area and then use the pen tool or the rectangle tool to create a quick mask for that, a fast mask for that. However, anything with the animation, then the mask will be followed for that transformation or animation based on the different property. So we need to use the other function, which is something that we will use is track matte. There are two types of track matte. One is called like alpha matte. The other one is like luma matte. The concept using the luma matte is very similar to like when Photoshop the kind of image mask, right? The one image black and white image. The alpha matte is very actually there's some concepts shared with the clipping mask is very similar, but we will start with the luma matte. Okay, we will hide the one behind first. We will mainly focus on this one. So for creating a mask and apply to that as a matte, right? The first step is you actually need the other individual image, right? In the beginning, you probably cannot see the track matte here. You probably need to right click any like a blank area here. You click the column and then you can see the mode. Click that, then you see the track matte here, right? So I will mainly work on these cards here. So let's try to create something on the top, right? Create something on the top. Remember, right? What we want to create is an image. I want to create. So let's try to talk about the first method. We actually bring in the mask. So earlier, I already kind of created a mask based on my. Actually, I work on here. So I think of, okay, if I make a mask, right, I just create a mask to export that. So this is the mask 1. And then the other mask I will demonstrate is the same, the mask 1, but there's a transparent part, but I will export this one as a PNG. So there's information about the transparent part. So what I get is a mask folder. One is the mask 1. The mask 2 is the PNG, right? Here there's nothing in the left side, right? We'll use the mask 1 first. We select both. Sorry about that. Right, select both. The reason about the missing link is because, right, it automatically upload to the cloud. I'll bring it back very soon. Here. I hope it will work. Okay, I bring back the files, and then you see, like, I actually import the mask 1. It will look like that. Mask 2, it look visually the same, but it's a PNG, right? If I click this button, right, it show the actual look, right? Because by default the background looks like a black, but actually is not, right, is there's a edge like showing the transparent background, and then the first one, you double click, is there's a black there. So that is the major difference. But visually they look the same, right? So let's try the mask one first. Is a JPEG image. Right, put the mask one here on the top of the car. Right, and then we will go to the car. Right, don't worry about that. You see nothing here because it's on the top, right? Make sure it's on the top, right? And then go to track matte, click that, and then let's try like the Luma matte mask 1. And then we will have that, right? So like based on the mask, right? Let's do this, right? Hope understand is more important, right? So because we apply this one to that as the matte, the function is very similar to the mask we use in Photoshop. So like based on the black and white information, white equals 100%. So the cars will only show in for the part based on the mask will be is the 100% is the white color, and it won't show for the 0% the black color, right? Black color. So that is, so what if I invert, right? If I invert, definitely, right, will be the other way, right? It will show in the beginning and then at the end. So since we're already using the mask one, let's try the alpha matte. So before we try the alpha matte, I'd like to explain first. Alpha matte idea is very similar to clipping mask. It will only like see the mask image as a shape, right? A contour, a kind of silhouette. So you can imagine, right? The mask one, the silhouette of the whole element, right, is the size of the whole canvas. So you can imagine, right? If I click the alpha matte, right, it's showing nothing or everything or part of that. Right? Let's take a look. Right, it shows everything. It shows everything because it covers all the canvas. Right, it covers all the canvas. And then if we click the alpha inverted, it will show nothing because opposite way of everything is nothing. Okay, so we delete this one. We will try to use the alpha matte, but we use the PNG one, right? It looks totally the same, but remember, if we turn this on, we see the transparent side, right? And then we use this one. It's even clearer for the idea, right? And then we go to the alpha matte. Yeah, not showing that. And then we do like the alpha matte, and then we show the outcome that we want. And then the inverted alpha matte, then will be the opposite way, right? So some of you may ask, okay, does it mean that I always need to draw in Photoshop and import the image for that? That is one of the options, but actually you can, for example, create a composition quickly, draw something there, right? There's one very fast way is that using the shape layer, Let's demonstrate again, right? We delete this one, we do it again. So we have the mask here. So we create something, remember, right, if we select the layers, right, if you use the pen tool, you will create a mask. So we are not doing that. Instead, we right click and then new, we create a kind of shape layer. Shape layer is the, you can use the pen tool to create some like shape, and then they can be made information as the vector. So it's actually, if you work more using After Effects for the motion graphic project, you probably will use a lot of shape layers. So I just want to create a shape here, maybe right here. So I want the cards show up in this area, So here is very important information, right? So what if I wanted to have the Luma mat, right? Make sure you hide this shape layer first. So one more thing I want to talk about is by default, if you create a shape layer, only one shape layer without the background, it will by default the background will the system will treat the background as black. So like once okay, let me show again. So I actually create a black on a background black, so the image is looking totally black. So let's try if that's true. If totally black, that means that if I use the Luma mat, it will gone 0 0 0 0, right? So like I based on this one, I inverted mat is everything, right? And this in this case, right, we choose like alpha mat. It means that is what we want. We want this one showing the area of the shape, and then the inverted, and then is inverted version, right? So that is the idea of the mat, right? Track mat for that. I think like after finishing this one, and then we will turn the back car on, then we will see the idea of true. And then you can actually adjust the shape layer of that, right? That's the good thing about using the shape layer. You can always do the adjustment for that. There's so many things that you can do, right? So many things you can do here. But I think that is the basic, all the function that you need to use for this animated collage art projects. Little bit recap, right? What we use, like composition. We always use composition to animate, adding the effects. We use the keyframes, add the keyframes. We use briefly use the graph editor ease to make it dynamic. We use the mat. We use we know how to create a fast mask based on one image. We know how to use the image as the track mat to the layers, the animated layers, to have the effect like that. So the one very last thing, and also is very important thing about the After Effects is After Effects doesn't save the elements for you. So that is one of the main difference compared with the Photoshop. The Photoshop, you see a lot of files very big because you put one image there, then it's saved in the Photoshop PSD file. While After Effects is creating the link to the projects, right? So that's why you see earlier, right? There's some problems during the demonstration. You see like missing link, right? Some like all the image is not available because the original files has been automatically uploaded to the iCloud. And I have to go back and then download that, and then we open the After Effects, and then it's back. So it's very important for you to understand this, right? You have to make sure all the original files and the links not changing, right, without changing, and then we made the same position. And then once you want to get all the files, you have to package them together so that we made the original files, projects, After Effects file, and the links to them. So sometimes, right? So like if you want to save your files, do not just get the After Effects file and go home and then realize, okay, once you open, nothing there, right? So one of the very efficient, helpful way is to make a package. So how to do that, right? For example, I think everything is clear. Go to File, and then Dependency, and collect files. And then I save the files first. I collect all, collect. It will pop up a window for creating a folder. a folder. So maybe I make this folder, so save. So what you get is this one. What you get is a folder with the like the mask here, right? The layers, everything, original files here, and very important is everything is linked, so that you later you can just make sure you got this folder, and then you double click this After Effects, everything should be fine. So this is very important for you. The last thing for you is the exporting the video, right? For example, if I want to export this video, I realize, okay, it's too, I don't need this long. I don't need this long. Need to adjust the timeline a little bit, drag here so that I see the timeline a bit better. I just need maybe for this animation just this shot, but for you probably you can make it longer, right? I just need this long, maybe 2 seconds, right? You see, like when I drag to the end, you see this kind of work area end, right? You can make that here so that later when you export, you can select the work area. Yep, that's it. Go to the file, export, add to render queue. That's the button that you should have. I think you go to here. The right hand side here, I see the it's better to put to here. It's a little bit messy here. I just drag this one to the here. Okay, good. Some basic setting here. It may be the different in your computer, but the basic strategy is like output module here. You shouldn't see the loss list because it will be very big. I click into that format option, animation. It means that animation is a format that without any compression is super big. It's super big. Some reference for you, right? I would say like the format QuickTime is fine, right? Some of you, if you find H.264, you can choose H.264 here. But I don't have that here, so I will remain the QuickTime format option. There should be H.264. I don't know, maybe it's the updated version. It seems like not available in my setting at this point in the After Effects. However, it's fine. For my cases, right? Actually, like you can use QuickTime, right? The format option H.264, or maybe the format H.264, or maybe QuickTime, like something like my case format option. Go to the Apple ProRes 422. That's pretty good one as well. That's pretty good one as well. And then click OK, and then go to the output tool. This is important. Go make sure you know where it's going to. Okay, here. Okay, save. So it's not started yet, so you need to render. So imagine, right, the reason we use the render queue is, for example, you have a 10, 20 shot for a film here, for the compositing, then you can actually have all the shots like rendered for hours, and then you can go to sleep, right? And that's why you need this one. You click the render. And see this blue bar, right? And hear this beautiful sound, and then you should have that. You should have this one, right? And you see like it's 2 seconds long, right? This is a very quick demonstration. I hope like you can explore more, right? I would say if you are still working on the image making, make sure spend time on that. Make sure aesthetics is something you are satisfied with. You feel free to upload your image or any work in progress to the discussion so that we can give more like the feedbacks to your work in progress. So this is the end of the video. Thank you.